Hey everybody, it's Christina Louise. I am so excited that you're here today. I am the founder of Spirit Awaits You. And today we're going to talk about how to get paid to use our natural gifts and talents, even if we don't know what they are. So I'd like you all to imagine that you wake up every morning knowing that today you get to do exactly what you want to do. You get to do exactly what feels good to you. Meaning that today you're going to work with only people who love and respect you, who you also love and respect. And every activity that you do today is going to bring your heart joy, and it's going to fulfill your purpose on earth. So you're going to feel fulfilled and passionate and joyful, and it's going to be a really great day. And there just isn't anything on the agenda today that you have to do that you don't really want to do. Except for maybe get the car's oil changed. But even that will be fun when you're not rushed around and feeling stressed out by doing work that you don't really want to be doing. So today I'm going to go over what we're going to go over today. So we're going to start with a little grounding exercise to get us all centered and present for the information that you're going to receive today. And really there's not a whole lot that I pre-wrote out for this event, so I'm really letting my higher self guide me, and I'm making this a joyful and easy process for myself as an example to you. So if you're doing anything else right now, I want to invite you to just relax and get centered in with where you're at. And one of the tools that I like to share with my clients in order to do that is to gently look around the room and call out the objects that you see. And that will help you acclimate yourself to the present moment. If you're doing anything else right now, if you've got multiple windows open on your computer, if you're trying to multitask, if there's kids running around or pets or animals distracting you, I want to invite you to take some space for yourself and to just spend this next hour and a half here with us and with me, and to receive the information and let it saturate into your conscious and subconscious mind. So why don't you go ahead and relax, take a few deep breaths, look around the room, calling out the things that you see, like I see a lamp, and I see my picture in the computer, and I see a piece of art, and I see a pink water bottle here. And I am grounded, I am acclimated. I've been waiting for this event for a long time. So, all right, let's get into it. So, I want to tell you guys a story because I think it'll help you to understand how I came to be in this position with you here today. Just a few years ago, I was involved in a serious car accident that left me 100% physically and mentally disabled. I had severe post-traumatic stress disorder, and I absolutely couldn't work. And that was a big shock for me because I really wanted to work, and I had prided myself on my strong work ethic, and I was a busybody, and I was always out there doing something for somebody or for myself, and I was running around, and I was having a lot of fun, but I was also pretty stressed out and a little bit emotionally unstable. When things hit the fan, I tended to kind of lose my cookies about it, and so I got involved in this car accident, and I had to sit still, and it took me about 3 years to even start to think about working again. And I had to, I couldn't do the work that I had to do, that I was doing before. I couldn't go back to waitressing. I couldn't go back to working for nonprofits. I couldn't sit in a chair for hours at a time. I physically couldn't work like that anymore. Emotionally, I didn't want to work like that anymore, right? But we're taught that you got to take a job for money, and you got to make money, and you know, you got to work. And even if you don't want to go to work, even if you're sick, you got to go. And that's it. You know, I honestly believe that the reason I got paid was because I was doing something I didn't want to do. And that just wasn't available to me anymore. And so all I knew was that I wanted to add value to this world. I really wanted to work with people who loved and respected me, whom I also loved and respected. I really wanted to make really good money, and I wanted my work to be easy, not only physically, but emotionally. So that meant I wanted to use my natural gifts and talents to serve the world. And I had no idea how I was going to do that, I thought I must have to go back to school and I've got to start over and I've got to find this new career. And I'm here today to tell you that that is absolutely not true. That's not true. I'm sitting here today presenting this webinar to you and getting paid for it. It's flipping awesome to get paid to do only what I want to do. I literally wake up every morning knowing that everybody that I'm going to talk to today and all the work that I'm going to do doesn't even feel like work. Now, sometimes there are like times where I'm feeling tired or I'm feeling grumpy and I really don't want to get on the phone, but once I get on the phone, I'm overwhelmed by the joy and the peace and the love that's coming through from the work that I'm doing, and I forget all about why I didn't want to get on the phone in the first place. I really don't. There is no separation now between my work life and my life, right? And I know a lot of you probably feel like that's true for you right now. You've got your spiritual life and your real life, and you've got your work life and your family life, and everything's kind of compartmentalized. And I know that if you're here today, it's because you feel that there must be a better way. You're here because you want to get paid to be who you are and who you came to be. And I am here to tell you that that is absolutely possible for you. It's inevitable for you. Like, if you're here with me today, you've pretty much had it up to here. You just don't know what to do next. And that's what I'm going to share with you today. How much easier, it's so much easier to go within using the tools and techniques that I'm going to share with you today and live your purpose than it is to keep punching a time clock and doing what you don't want to be doing anymore for money. So I don't want you to worry if you don't know what your natural gifts and talents are, if you don't feel you don't have enough time, if you feel like you don't have enough money. I don't care what your excuse is. The bottom line is that there is a purpose for your life. You're probably already doing it. You're just not realizing that there is an opportunity to get paid for it because it comes so naturally to you. In fact, I'm going to show you exactly how I did it, and I'm going to share another little story with you. So I'm going to finish the story that I started, actually. So all I knew is that I wanted to add value to the world. I wanted to get paid really well. I wanted to work with people who loved and respected me, and I wanted to do something that felt natural and joyful and easy to me. And so I stayed focused on that 5 intentions. So if you've got a notebook right now, and if you're just joining us, I want to remind you to not be multitasking right now, to really just stay present. And if there's something that you need to write down, I'm going to let you know that. So just stay open and stay present to what Spirit brings through for you today and what resonates with you today. And we're going to have time for questions and answers at the end of the hour. So if you have any questions or concerns, or if there's anything that you want to ask, just write it down and come right back here and just listen in. So I want you to write this down. What do you want your work life to look like? Number 1. We know you want to make really good money, right? Like, let's get honest about that. There's nothing unspiritual about making money. Making money is awesome. It gives you freedom. It brings joy. It gives you the ability to help other people. I used to wake up every day and I'd get really sick inside about the state of the world and the babies passing away and the wars being fought. And thank God for Wayne Dyer. He came along and said to me, there's no amount of you feeling bad that's going to make anybody better. And if you really want to do something to help the world, help yourself first. Get yourself physically, emotionally, spiritually stable. Make your money and tithe and give and build charities and nonprofit organizations. And all of that is only possible through the use of money. So if you've got this like idea in your head that, you know, it's unspiritual to have money, that's okay. But please understand that you have permission now to let that go. Spirit, God, nature, whatever you want to call it, wants you to be rich, because it's through your abundance that you'll be able to give and plant seeds around the world for other people to enjoy. So just listen, I'm going to share a lot of cool stuff with you guys today, and I want you to understand that I don't want you to take my word for it, and I don't need you to believe me. I need you to be open. That's it. So if you hear me say something and it sounds too good to be true, or you hear me share a story with you and you say, well, Christina can do that, but I can't. Catch yourself saying that and notice how you feel. You don't feel good when you talk like that. Pessimism doesn't feel good. Therefore, it's not good for you. It's not going to get you to where you want to be. You've heard me say before, if you've been following me for a while now, that if it's not feeling good, it's not the truth. And so just be open to that idea. Be open to the idea that if it doesn't feel good, it's not your truth. So how do you think, when you think about, I have to do this job that I really don't want to do, but that's just the way it is. Notice my face. I couldn't even say that without, becoming stressed in my face. Nobody can say that without becoming stressed. It's because it's not true. Now that might sound too good to be true to you, and I'm asking you only to be open to the ideas that I'm presenting you, okay? Just be open. If you hear something that's too good to be true, say, wouldn't that be nice? And let life show you, rather than just closing down and deciding you've got it all figured out and life sucks, and that's just the way it is. Does that make sense? So if you've got a notebook, here's what I want you to write down. Number one, what do you want your work life to look like? We know you want to make money. Write that down. I want to make really good money. And if you feel some resistance, that's okay. Write it down anyways. You want to make money. It's okay. It really is. Number two, if you're here today, I know you want to add value to the world. I know that you know that there is something inside of you that's dying to come out. So you want to add value to the world. Write that down. I want to add value to the world. I want to feel joyful and at ease when I'm at work. I want to do work that feels really good. And anything else that appeals to you. My fourth and final intention when I started this process 3 years ago was I only want to work with people who love and respect me, whom I also love and respect. So write that down if that's true for you. Okay? I want to make really good money. I want to work with people who love and respect me, whom I also love and respect. I want it to feel joyful and easy to go to work and do my job. I want to use my natural gifts and talents. And I want to add value to the world. And so here's the deal. Every time that you catch yourself thinking about what am I going to do about work? Like, so let's say you don't have a job. This stuff works if you have a job, if you don't have a job, if you have a job you love, but you're kind of like feeling it's time for a change, you have a job you hate or something in between. It really doesn't matter where you are now. You're connected to your higher power. You're connected to source. You're connected to guidance. You've got a bunch of doubts and insecurities standing in your way. I'm going to help you clear that up today. Okay? So, and when I'm quiet like this, I'm just checking in and I'm asking for guidance. And that's something that you'll learn to do as you continue to work with me. It's a lot of fun, actually. So that's the first step, is to just get really clear about what you want and be open to the idea that you can have it. You don't have to 100% believe it. You just have to be open enough to try the tools and the techniques out. And I promise you, you will know within a few days if you want to continue. Okay? So just be open and stay present with me. All right. So we've identified what we want our work life to look like. That's a huge first step. And I want you to stop for a moment and just pat yourself on the back for making it today, for showing up today, for taking your life seriously. Because honestly, the world needs you. We need you. Something is beating your heart and giving you breath to breathe. There's no extra people on this planet. Every single thing and person on this planet is needed, and there's a purpose for it. That's why the intelligent source of all there is breathing breath into me, breathing breath into you, beating your heartbeat right now. It needs you, it wants you, it loves you. There is a purpose and there is a plan. Okay, and so that I would say is the step. The second step is to just be open to that idea. How does that feel when you think that way? How does it feel when you think my life has a purpose? Don't you feel a sense of relief? I'm going to back up a minute and give you guys a little foundational piece that I think is super important for your mindset. Okay, and that is this. The way you think creates an emotional reaction in your body. Most of us know that, right? So if I think I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm never going to amount to anything, I can never be a successful business owner, I don't know what I'm going to do about my money, look at how I feel. How do you feel when you think that way? You feel like crap. That is your higher power, your highest self, God, nature, spirit, the divine, whatever you want to call it, communicating to you through your body that you are way off course. Be open to that idea. When I think I'm beautiful, I'm sexy, I'm wonderful, I make lots of money, my money comes easily and frequently to me, it's a gorgeous day outside, I can't wait to, get out there and enjoy it. I mean, then I feel good. These types of things. When I start judging and condemning my clothing or other people, I feel bad. Why? Because your higher self doesn't do that. Spirit, God, nature doesn't look down and go, yeah, I don't know about that one. No, that's a human thing, and that's okay. This is not about condemning yourself. It's about catching yourself and making a choice. Catch yourself when you're thinking thoughts that make you feel low, make you feel heavy, make you feel depressed, make you feel anxious, and saying, I don't want to do this anymore. Because you're the one doing it to yourself. Okay? Okay. So you guys have questions on that. I'll get to them. So be open to the idea. This is the second tool. I want to call this this is the second thing that I want to share with you today. It's a mindset. Okay? Is that be open to the idea that how you're thinking is creating certain feelings inside of you. And if you would say that those feelings feel bad, what you're thinking is out of alignment with your higher self. And what we're all searching for on this planet is alignment with our higher self. We all want to feel connected. We all want to feel joyful. We all want to feel love. We all want to feel peace. At the end of the day, everything you want is because you want to feel better. Does that make sense to you? You want more money because you believe it'll make you feel better. You want a nicer car because you believe it'll make you feel better. You want love in your life because you believe that'll make you feel better. You want to find your purpose and get paid to use your natural gifts and talents because you believe that will make you feel better. And that one will, for sure. Okay, but it starts with understanding that you are always connected to your higher power. You are always connected to your source. But the judgments and the condemnations that you hold about yourself, the world, and other people are clouding up your ability to hear your higher power, to hear your guidance. So every time you think, God, it would be nice to know what my life purpose is and get paid for it, but I can't do that because I don't have the right clothes, or I don't have the right education, or I don't have the time, or I don't have the money, you block it. Spirit's talking to you every moment of every day, just like Spirit's talking to me every moment of every day. I've done the work to clean up my connection. And that's what working with me is all about. I will show you how to clear up that connection so you feel guided, guarded, protected, safe, secure, content, even when the walls are falling down. That's the true test of peace, right? Even when the walls are falling down, you feel good. You know there's something's going to happen and you're going to be fine. That's the kind of peace that I have, and that I'm sharing with you guys. Tools and techniques to get you there. And this stuff works. It doesn't matter. I promise you, I've been doing this long enough. I know it, so getting back to, continuing on with the story I shared with you guys, okay? I thought I was spiritual. I started studying metaphysics and quantum physics and spirituality when I was 18 years old. At 27 years old, I was riddled with anxiety and panic attacks, and I didn't know if God really existed. And I wasn't sure of my life purpose, and boom, I get hit by 2 cars and a telephone pole. And my whole entire life was turned upside down. Everything I thought made me was gone. The car was gone, the credit was gone, the boyfriend was gone, the clothes were gone, the house was gone. The ability to work and create it all over again was gone. Boy, am I thankful for that day. Because it taught me over the next 6 years, I've learned that none of that stuff makes me me. This doesn't make me me. You could take all of this away and I know how to rebuild it now using the power of my mind. I really do. And I've done it multiple times over the last 6 years, so proof's in the pudding. Come check me out. So anyhow, I lost everything that I thought made me me. Flash forward 3 years later, I finally got through enough PT, chiropractic, acupuncture, doing everything that I did to rebuild my body and my mind. And I was stuck. I was like, now what? You know, I think I can go back to work, but what the heck am I going to do? I can't go back to the things that I used to do. So I started with the first tool that I shared with you today, which is staying focused on what I wanted. I want a job, make good money. So here's what I did. I want to fine tune that first tool that I got. Okay, so if you have your notebook, this is another thing that you want to write down. Instead of saying, I want a job, that's a good first step. Now we're going to take the next step on that tool, which is, I have a job. And if you can't take that step and say, I have it now, say, I am. I am working a job that feels really good. It doesn't even feel like work. I am making really good money. I am adding value to the world. I am only working with people who love and respect me, whom I also love and respect. And I don't want you guys thinking that this is just all about positive thinking, because it's not. And if you've worked with me before or seen any of my videos, you know it's not just this, but this is an important part, okay? So go from I want or I wish to I am or I have. So 3 years ago, I could say it like that. I could say, I have a job. And I was calling it forth. And I was spending my time dreaming about what that might be. But when you're spending time dreaming, if that dream turns into a nightmare, and you know it's turning into a nightmare because of how you feel, back off. This should not feel hard. This should not feel it's how you do it, meaning the energy behind doing it. So if you're trying to visualize your dream job and you're feeling like crap, get out of there. Stop, find something else to do that makes you feel better. You are an energetic being. Everything is energy, and this is not spiritual woo-woo stuff. This is science. Go verify it with the quantum physicists of the world. They would all agree with me. Everything is energy. Everything is energy, including you, including your thoughts, including your emotions. And this is a universe of attraction. So how you're doing what you're doing, meaning the energy behind your actions, are what the rest of the world is responding to. So if you're taking this affirmation list and feeling like crap as you're writing it, then this is not the tool for you. But I don't think that's, do you understand what I'm saying? You guys get it. Okay. So step one is stay focused. So that's what I was doing. And here's how it plays out, right? Like, again, you know, I'm not the kind of person that's going to tell you, you know, go and do this. You want to bring this into your everyday life. You want to bring this into your everyday, what's going on in here as you move throughout your life. So let's just say you don't have a job right now, or you have a job that you don't like, okay? As you're moving throughout your life, you're probably at this point thinking things like, what if I never find a job? You know, what if I lose this job, right? You're thinking things that don't make you feel good. This is the time to focus on the thought that makes you feel good about your job, which is, I have a job. I make really good money. I add value to the world. So how are we bringing this into our everyday life is catching ourselves when we're thinking about our life purpose. when we're thinking about the job, when we're thinking about money, and noticing how we're feeling while we're doing that. And if you are feeling anything less than joy and peace and love, this is the opportunity to exercise tool 3 that I'm giving you now. And we're going to go over all this again, of making a new choice and employing your higher power to help you. Your higher power beats your heart, gives you breath to breathe, keeps the sun rising on time, takes care of the Earth's orbit, takes care of the temperature so that you can live comfortably on this earth, okay? The cycle of life and death so you can cook your dinner, okay? Your higher power is taking care of the big, big things, and why not what you would consider the small things? Why not your life purpose? It took care of your hair color and your eye color, and you got, most of us have 10 fingers and 10 toes. It took care of this stuff. Why not the money? Why not the career? Don't etch God out. Ego, etch God out. Don't do that. This is why you feel like your spiritual life is separate from your real life. This is why you feel like your work life is separate from your real life. It's because you created that separation. There is no separation. There isn't. Your higher self, your higher power is available to use in every aspect of your life, from kids to money to family, everything. Okay. So we're going to bring this all together here. As you're moving throughout your everyday life and you catch yourself thinking about your life purpose and you're not feeling good, you want to just catch that and say, higher power, when I think about my life purpose, when I think about my natural gifts and talents, I feel confused, I feel overwhelmed, I feel helpless, I feel hopeless, I get angry, whatever it is, acknowledge it. Stop pushing it down. Acknowledge it. I don't feel good right now. It's okay for you to say that. It's necessary. Let me back up. It is absolutely imperative that you get really honest with yourself. I'm not talking about getting a bullhorn and going around the neighborhood and telling everybody that you feel like crap, okay? Be honest with yourself. I don't feel good when I think this way. I want to feel peace, but I don't know how. So higher power, Holy Spirit, God, nature, the divine, the universe, whatever you want to call it, bring me peace. I want peace in my love life. I want peace in my career. I want peace in my money life. Claim what you want. Ask for it. It's already there for you. So getting back to the story, right? So this is what I was doing. So 3 years ago, I decided what I wanted by making that list. And as I was moving throughout my everyday life, I was catching myself worrying because I didn't have a job back then. I didn't have a business. I didn't have clients. I wasn't even punching a time clock for anybody. I was literally disabled and couldn't work. So I was catching myself as my mind was trying to bring me out of the present moment and worrying about the future. What am I going to do next week? What am I going to do next month? What am I going to do with my career? I was stop. I used the tool that I gave you when we first opened this live event. I acclimated myself to the present moment by looking around the room and calling out a few objects that I see, centering myself and deciding what I want. I have a job. I make really good money. I only work with people who love and respect me, whom I also love and respect. I add value to the world. And look where I'm sitting today. I'm doing it, friends, and you can too. It's so flippin' easy. It's so easy that some of you are going to say, it's too easy. That doesn't make sense. Be open. Be open. Life is not supposed to be hard. It's really not. You're here to enjoy it. Okay, so I was doing that every day. And one day, the phone rang. And somebody's offering me money to do something that I was doing for free. When I was 17, 18 years old, I went into a store and I picked up a tarot deck. And I hid it from my parents because they're very religious. And I hid it from the majority of the people in my life. I just knew I needed it. There was something in me. I knew I had to have it. And I took it home, and for very, very, very close friends who absolutely were in trouble and needed guidance, I would break out the tarot deck and I would provide a reading and a spiritual consultation. And I would ask them not to tell anybody, because I was scared of how the world was going to look at me if they knew that I was playing with witchcraft, as my parents called it. But I knew I was helping people. And I had been doing that, not after the time I got disabled, but prior, from 18 to 27, I had been doing that occasionally, never advertised it, never told anybody about it. Like I said, wanted to keep it a secret. And the phone rang, and this woman called me and said, I heard you do readings, and I own a bookstore, and I want you to come in and provide readings. And I said, why? And she said, because you'll bring in business. And I said, how? Like, it was so crazy to me that somebody wanted to pay me for something that I was doing for free. That I thought that this woman wanted money from me. I was like, what do you want, you know? She goes, no, sweetheart, you come in, you provide readings, I'll put a little sign out front, and you'll bring in foot traffic to my store, and then you can charge people whatever you want. And I said, I can't charge people for spiritual work. Oh my God. And it sent me off to one of my spiritual mentors. And I was like, I can't, is this okay? I mean, gosh, I would really like to, you know, make money, and I would really like to share this work with the world, but I don't know what my parents are going to think about me, and I don't know what people are going to think about me, and is it okay to take money? And this woman laughed so hard, she almost fell off the flipping chair. She's like, don't you know who you are? And I said, what are you talking about? She said, you're a medium. I said, I'm a medium. She said, and you're a healer. And I'm like, I'm a healer? What are you talking about? I don't see dead people. And she explained to me that a medium just means a channel. And we are all channels for love. We're all channels for breath. We're all channels for our heartbeat. And we're all channels for spirit, because spirit is who we are. Excuse me. And so that's how my business started 2 years ago. Slowly, gradually, because I was really afraid. And when I finally told my parents what I was doing, they laughed at me. And they said, Christina, you've been talking to spirit since you were 2 years old. And I'm like, well, why didn't you tell me? And they were like, oh, we didn't think it was important. You never said it was important, so we didn't think it was important. And now over the last 2 years, my business has evolved to one-on-one coaching and self-mastery, because that's really what I was doing all along through readings and spiritual consultations, is I was teaching people how to take control of your creative powerhouse that you are. You are the creator of your experience of life. So here's what that means. That means that if you believe you can, you can. And if you believe you can't, you can't. Do you get it? Like, you can do anything you want to do. You really can get paid to use your natural gifts and talents. And I'm going to give you another tool to help you start to get into alignment with what exactly your gifts and talents are. Okay? So don't worry about that. But you really can do anything you want to do. Really, truly, you can. But if you've got a program in the back of your mind running, going, you're not good enough for that. Who do you think you are? That's what I had going on. Who do you think you are to be charging money for readings? Who do you are to think, call yourself a medium and a healer and a teacher? Who do you don't have a plaque on the wall. Who do you think you are? You're not good enough for that. We've all got these negative scripts running in the back of our minds telling us that we're not loved. Nobody's going to love you. Nobody's going to like you. Nobody's going to want to pay you for being you. And you're not good enough. And if you're still online with me today, right now, after I've said that, congratulations. You're standing up to the resistance in the back of your head. You know that it's BS. And that's exactly what it is. It's total BS. And I'm living proof that that's the truth, because I was juvenile delinquent. I was on an ankle bracelet for a year when I was 14 years old. I couldn't go more than 30 feet away from a box connected to my telephone in my house without my probation officer's beeper going off. I dropped out of high school. I got pregnant and had a miscarriage at 18. I had anxiety, I had panic attacks. I mean, friends, the person who's sitting here in front of you today, I designed this with spirit, you know, with God. And that's where your real creative power comes from. It comes from employing. You want somebody to pay you to be you. Why don't you start paying, meaning paying attention. Pay attention to God first, to nature, spirit. You know, I'm just going to say spirit, and you guys are going to know that you can call the thing that beats your heart and keeps the earth in orbit, whatever you want to call it. Okay, but I'm going to call it spirit. Start paying attention to your higher self, to the thing that created you, to the thing that beats your heart, and employing it like it's an assistant. You're thinking something, you're feeling something, you don't want to be thinking or feeling anymore, ask spirit to take it away. It is so simple, but it's got to be a moment-to-moment practice for you to really change your life. Okay, like you can try this stuff like once in a while and maybe you'll get a pop here and there. But I mean, if you're really serious about learning how to master this, your mind, your body, your life, and working in cooperation with the higher power to fulfill your life purpose, you've got to start practicing on a moment-to-moment basis. Like catching yourself in the moment, kids. Like when you're with the kids, when you're at the bank, when you're online, when you're interacting with whatever, your coworkers. Okay? All right. So what do we do if we don't know what our natural gifts and talents are? Okay? If we don't know what our natural gifts and talents are and you feel like you have to know right now, I'm going to give you the next tool is for you. I don't want you to start doing this right now. I want you to wait until after we're done here today to actually complete the exercise, but I want you to hear me now as I talk to you about the exercise, okay? All right, so here's the deal. What you want to do is you want to make a list of your talents and a list of your passions side by side on a sheet of paper, okay? So your talents are, I'll share with you what my talents and passions are, just a couple of them to give you an idea of what I'm talking about here, okay? Okay, my talent is talking. It's also one of my passions, okay? I'm a very good speaker and I love speaking. So speaking is a talent and a passion of mine, okay? What do I do that's specifically a talent? That's not a passion. Oh, it's a toughie. All right, hang on. So when I started my list, let's do that because I have so much clarity now because I've been doing the tools and techniques that I'm sharing with you today and more that I can offer you in coaching. I have so much clarity that it's kind of like, oh, my talents are my passions. I'm doing everything I want to do. Okay, here we go. Talent. I have a talent for driving. Like I'm a really good driver, guys, and I just always have been for some reason. Got my license when I was 16. My parents were letting me, semi-steer the car when I was like 10. And I love driving. I wouldn't say it's a passion though. I'm not really passionate about driving, okay? I don't mind it, but it's something I'm talented at. Like you need a good driver, you need to get to the airport quick, I'm your girl, all right? I know how to weave and dive and be safe and keep people safe while I do it. So I'm talented at driving, but I wouldn't say it's a passion. A passion is, some of us are very passionate about working with animals, right? That's a passion. You might have a talent for public speaking. It might not be something that you really want to do. It might not be your passion. Is this making sense to you guys? If this is making sense to you guys, I want you to go ahead and comment in the little chat box below. Okay. All right. So just go ahead and comment if this is making sense to you, if you understand what the difference between your talents and your passions are or not. And then I'll know later, okay? All right. So your talents are things that you're just naturally good at. Your passions are things that you're like super excited to do. All right. So that would be the third and final, maybe it's the fourth at this point, tool. That would be another tool that I would give you to help you start to get paid to use your natural gifts and talents. You've got to identify exactly what they are. Now, I'm going to tell you guys something, okay? When I made my list of talents and passions, I didn't write down tarot card reading and spiritual consultations. It wasn't even on my list. And yet it's become a big part of my life today, and it's evolved. You know, it was a step to get me to where I am today, which is a career I love. And it's still something that I do, but I just want you to understand that it's really not necessary for you at this point, at any point really, it's important for you to know who you are and start to get into the habit of feeling good and thinking about the things that, wow, I'm talented and I'm passionate about this. And like, it's good to get, but it's not necessary that you sit down and you figure this all out tonight, what your dream career is going to look like. Because like with my story, it evolves over time. Okay. If you told me, 2 years ago that I was going to be a personal transformation coach and a self-mastery coach, I would have been like, what are you talking about? It evolved because I allowed spirit to guide me step by step. Does that make sense? Good. All right. So I want to remind you that anything you try to do the first time is going to be hard. Anything. Riding a bike, driving a car, fill in the blank. Anything that you do the first time, it's going to feel uncomfortable. It might be hard. It might be might be difficult. But so that's why I put so much emphasis on you just being open to trying stuff out rather than trying to get everything right. Listen, you can't get this wrong. You can't. You have a gift inside of you you want to give to the world. You can't give that wrong. Does that make sense? You can't live your life purpose wrong. You could miss out on joyful, loving, peaceful experiences of life, but and I'm not trying to put my beliefs on you, but I know that reincarnation is a fact. So I feel that we get infinite numbers of chances to do these things and have these experiences. So that's my role. It doesn't have to be yours. But I want to remind you that anything that you try to do the first time, it's going to feel difficult. So I don't want you to get overwhelmed, and I don't want you to try to get this right, and I don't want you to try and be perfect. I want you to be really gentle with yourself as you start to get the creative juices flowing for you in your life. This is not something that you're going to figure out. I didn't figure it out. I set my intention. I kept my mind clear. And the phone flipped and rang one day. Okay? Like that's really as simple as it is. But here's the deal. 8 years ago, I started doing work called shadow work with a mentor. Okay? And shadow work is a process that was taught to my teacher by a Native American elder here in New York. My mentor has been practicing with this man for 20 years. I've been practicing with my mentor for 8 years. All those doubts and all those insecurities and all that confusion, and that is negative. Those are symptoms of a problem bred into our culture. And let me back up here. I honestly don't believe that there's a problem with this world. I believe that there is a reason why we receive and take on the negative programming from the world. I actually see that as perfect, and I'll explain why, okay, in a minute. So when I say problem, I don't really mean like there's something wrong with the world. I actually don't believe that there's anything wrong with the world. I think that the world is set up perfectly for us to do exactly what we're here to do. And I'll get into why I feel that way in a moment. But backing up. So okay. So see, I'm Marie. I'm checking in. I'm acclimating myself to the present moment. I'm staying calm, even though I'm live right now. And I don't have everything planned out that I want to say to you. So I can handle this, though, because I've done this work. So this shadow work is the process of going back to the origination points of where these doubts and insecurities started. And they're in our childhood. In our childhood, we were told, sit down, sit up straight, button it up, don't cry. Big girls don't cry. Big boys don't cry. You're not going to get picked for the team. If you don't pass kindergarten, you're not going to get into first grade. If you don't pass first grade, you're not going to go to high school. If you don't go to high school and graduate high school, you're never going to go to college. And if you don't go to college, you're never going to get a good job. And you're going to be broke the rest of your life. And nobody's going to want to marry you. From the time we are born, we are told that there's a possibility that there's something wrong with us, that we're not lovable, that we're not wanted, and that we're not good enough. And if you're really honest with yourself, and it doesn't matter how awesome your parents were at some point, whether it was a teacher or a student or a coworker or another kid at school, or this is not about blaming the world for the way that you are, okay? This is about understanding that the world, that your first phase of this life is about having the experience of that which you are not. So think about it like this. You're born a baby. What are babies? They're soft, they're vulnerable, they're fragile, they're dependent, they're helpless. They need us, right? That's not who you are. You're strong, you're powerful, you're infinite, you're invulnerable. Feel this. Notice how you feel when I talk to you this way. It's because it's true. But you left heaven. I also call it the realm of the absolute. You left spirit and you chose to take on this suit and this mind and have the experience of being who you're not. Small, vulnerable, frail, dependent, needy. Why? Because you have to have the experience of that which you are. In the realm of the absolute, from where we all came, spirit, you know you're the ish, okay? You know you're awesome. You know you're everything. You know your love. You know your joy. You know your peace. You know nothing could ever hurt you. But knowing something and having the experience of that thing, it's two different things. So I like to tell my clients this. Knowing what sex is, I could get out a diagram and I could explain sex to a virgin. But losing your virginity, having sex, two different things. Knowing what something is and having the experience of that thing are two different things. Another example to illustrate, before I went to Hawaii, I knew all about Hawaii. But going there and experiencing Hawaii, it's completely different, right? Knowing what hot is and feeling something hot on your hand, two different things. So in the realm of the absolute, where we all come from, you know who you are. But in order to experience who you are, there has to be something other than what you are. So in order to have the experience of light, we have dark. Hot, we have cold. Up, we have down. In this realm, this is the realm of the relative. This is, I'm here and you're there. We're separate. For the joy of coming back together again. There will be questions and answers. Okay? So, doesn't matter how awesome your parents were or how crappy your parents were. It doesn't matter what country you were born in. If you're a human being, the first half of your life, you're going to have the experience of who you are not. So that you can grow up, wake up, and have the experience of that which you are. And some of, not us on this call, but some people in this lifetime, they're just going to live their lifetime as who they're not and have blips of who they are. If you're here with me at this point, you've had enough and you want to have the experience of being the powerful, awesome creator that you are. And when I tell you you're the creator, you're not the creator of life or the world. You're the creator of your experience of life in the world. There's a difference. In Spirit's reality, you've never done anything wrong. You've never been separated. Nobody's ever hurt you. And you're always doing the best that you can. And you're going to get there. And when you get there, there'll be another there that you want to go to. So it's never ending. And if you want to believe that and live that way, it'll be true for you. And if you believe that something other than that, that will be true for you. That's what I mean when I say you're the creator of, when we say you're the creator of your reality, we're being very specific with that phrasing, your reality. So you can believe that I'm full of crap. But in my reality, this is the truth. And I live it, and there's proof of that. Yeah? So if I had 2 years ago said, no way, I can't do readings, I'm never going to be successful, nobody's ever going to believe me. Did I have those thoughts come up? Absolutely, I had those thoughts come up. But I chose to let them go and ask Spirit to give me peace, joy, understanding, love, clarity. And from that place, I'm able to create more. Okay? All right. So I'm going to open it up now for questions and answers. I'm excited to hear from you guys. Eddie is asking, resistance is fear. Yeah, absolutely. Resistance is fear. And this might sound cliche to you, but honest to God, friends, the only way to get through that, like, you're never going to come to a place where you no longer feel fear. Okay, like, this is my first YouTube live event. I wasn't even sure on how to use the technology before I sat down in this chair about an hour before we got started today, and I was feeling resistance. But because I've done a ton of shadow work, and because I use the tools and techniques that I give you guys, I was able to relax and do it anyways. And that's what I want to share with you about, this is what I want to share with you about resistance and fear, is that you're never going to come to a place where that stuff goes away completely. You're going to build up momentum with getting over it. All right. So that means, like, it really wasn't that big of a deal to do this webinar because I've been practicing for so long, and I have practiced myself into knowing that there's absolutely nothing that I can't get this wrong, and it doesn't have to be perfect, and you guys are going to receive exactly what you need to receive today. And I didn't have to create a script. And, you know, I practice myself into alignment with the truth. And I know the truth by how it feels good. So getting back to resistance, please understand that you're never going to get to a place where you don't feel resistance anymore. Resistance is an opportunity to grow. It's a challenge. And the only way to get through it is by acknowledging it, facing it, and doing what your heart is telling you to do anyways. I was scared, super scared, to go out and create a Facebook business page for Spirit Awaits You 2 years ago. I was super scared about what my friends and my family members, but I did it anyways because I knew I was called to do it. Does that make sense, Eddie? Let me know. I'm going to take the next question. Do I have a daily practice around this, Rose? Absolutely, and I'm sharing that daily practice with you now, and I apologize if that's not clear. I'm always happy to repeat myself. So these are the daily practices. The daily practice is, it's not even a daily practice. I see what you're saying. Yeah, actually I do, and it's so funny that you're, Rose, that's a super, super, super good question. Okay, so here's the deal. As far as daily practices go, I would say when you wake up in the morning every day, you have a notebook and a pen waiting by your bedside table, okay? Every night before you go to bed, you make sure that there's a notebook and a pen by your bed. And the first thing that you do when you wake up is you write down every single detail that you can remember from your dream. And I don't care if it's only one sentence. I don't care if it's a color. I don't care if you just remembered that your dog was in your dream. You write it down. You get into the daily habit of writing down your dreams, because your dreams will guide you. They'll let you know what you're afraid of. They let you know what you're really angry about, because we are only conscious of about 10% of what actually is going on in our minds at any given time. You want to know what's going on in the back of your mind? Start writing down your dreams, Rose. So that would be a daily practice for you. Start writing down your dreams. And as you get one sentence out, another sentence will come through. And as you get in the habit of doing this every single day, your conscious mind will pick up and go, oh, okay, she wants more. She wants to know more. She wants to know more, and you will receive more. Okay? Next question. What are some ways that someone can merge their spiritual life with their work life if they are already headed in the direction of doing something that they love? I am not sure what you mean by that, but I'm going to encourage you. I like bow ties. I'm going to encourage you to stay tuned, and in a couple of minutes, I'm going to give you guys a special link that I created you for, and you can book a time to talk with me. And I will get to know your plan. I'll get to know your needs, and I'll make some personal recommendations for you. I'll ask you some questions. You'll ask me some questions. Okay? I'm going to move on to the next question. All right, Peggy. I just became an ordained Course in Miracles minister. I have several ideas of what I could do, but how do I know what will be the most rewarding and do the most good? That is a really good question. And a super personal question. And so I would also invite you, Peggy, to book a time to talk with me one-on-one so we can get really specific. But just generally speaking here, I would say re-watch this webinar, okay? Because you got a lot of really good information. I gave you guys more than a few tools to start using in your everyday life, and you've just got to trust that your next step will be guided. Peggy, I feel for you that you're trying to get too ahead of yourself. Like you're trying to plan 5, 10 years down the lane. And even 1 year, even, 1 year ahead of time is just, you're trying to have everything figured out. And so Peggy, I would encourage you to watch my 3-part video series and book a time to talk with me one-on-one so that we could come up with a plan that feels good for you. And that would include getting you really uncomfortable with staying in the present moment, because I feel that you're getting way ahead of yourself. And that's what Spirit's guiding me to share with you now. All right, Audrey. How did you find your coach and who helped you with your shadow work? Oh, his name is Dave. He's awesome. And if you're asking because, Audrey, you're interested, this goes right into the next portion of our 90-minute call today. I'm going to share with you guys a little bit about my program that includes shadow work. Okay. Shadow work, I started doing it with my mentor, Dave. He doesn't take private clients. I do. Okay. And I've been doing shadow work with my clients for over a year and a half now, almost 2 years. Okay. Oh, Peggy, thank you for that confirmation. So Audrey, how did I find my coach? I was led. The way that you've been led to this webinar today, the way that you've stuck with me, the resonance that you feel in my heart, that you feel in your heart right now, I felt in my heart. All right. And so I would like, how did I find him? I was asking questions. I was looking for guidance. I had had enough of going around and around in circles. And Audrey, if you've had enough, and this is really to all of you, if you've had enough of going around and around in circles, reading the books, and trust me, there's nothing wrong with reading the books and doing these affirmations and all of that, but shadow work is really the glue that holds it all together. I like to think about it like a daisy. You guys know what, I don't have one around here, but a daisy is the flower with the yellow center and it's got the petals. I would say yoga, meditation, EFT, EMDR, affirmations, positive thinking, blah, blah, blah. Like all of those things are super important, but they're the petals. And without that shadow work element, the petals can't stay, like it doesn't get held up, right? So that shadow work is the foundational piece that I feel that we are all missing here, okay? And so I want to tell you guys about my program called Make Over Your Mind. If you like what you've been hearing today, if you like what I've been teaching, this is a really good next step for you. And I don't want you to make a decision about it today, okay? I want you to, I want you to get on the phone with me and let's talk about your specific needs, and let's I'll ask you a couple questions, you'll ask me a couple of questions, and we'll come up with a plan for you. And you'll walk away, no strings attached, with some next steps, and you can decide for yourself if working with me is the next best step for you. All right? So Marie, you're saying that you see your shadow side keeps coming out more and more, and it's always a reflection in front of my face, but how do I resolve it? Do I have to communicate it to others? No. Bree, I'm really glad to see that you're here today. I remember talking to you earlier this year, and I want to invite you to get on the phone and talk with me, because I felt it back then, like you're really ready for this work, sweetie. And in order to do your shadow work, you have to have a guide, okay? Because the shadows are the things that you've been trained in your life to push away, to repress. You pretend they're not here. You don't want to look at them. You condemn yourself. You believe there's something wrong with, that's why they're called shadow selves, right? You believe that there's something wrong with your shadow self. And I'm telling you that we've got to, and it's all happening on you're pushing it back into your unconscious. And I'm telling you that we need to bring light to that shadow self. We need to bring expression and acknowledgement to it, but it doesn't start with other people. Other people are reflecting it back to you so that you can see it within yourself. But because it's an unconscious part of yourself, you actually need somebody like me who's done years and years and years of shadow work with her own mentor, okay? And I've done a ton of work on with him in my life, and now I do it with other people, because I can be trusted to lead you in. The reason why you can't do it on your own, guys, is because you can't be both conscious and unconscious at the same time, okay? Meaning that, like, a doctor doesn't knock himself out and give himself knee surgery, right? Doctors operate on their own friends and family because the emotions cloud their conscious intention. So you cannot do shadow work on your own, because you cannot be both conscious and unconscious at the same time. If that makes sense to you guys, just write yes in the comments so I know that we're clear and I can move on, okay? So for those of you that are ready to get on the phone and speak with me, I'm going to put the link to my calendar in the comment box, okay, right now. And I want you to click the link and book a time to get on the phone with me so we can discuss next steps for you and decide if it's a good idea to move forward in my program. The program's called Makeover Your Mind. I'm going to teach you how to connect to your higher power and I'm going to teach you how to clean up your connection to your higher power, because you're already connected, okay? I'm going to teach you how to clean up your connection to your higher power. Okay, I'm going to teach you how to start in the moment, catching yourself when you're going into your story, into your shitty story. Sorry, I swear, you're going to have to deal with that if you're going to work with me. When you start to go into your crappy story about how you're not good enough and this isn't going to work for you, and I don't know, and should I do this and should I do that, and you try to get ahead of yourself and you're trying to figure it out and just spin around and do absolutely nothing but hurt yourself and punish yourself and keep yourself from living the life of your dreams. If you are coachable, if you are really had enough and you're willing to do this work, you absolutely, within 12 months, will have a completely different life. I swear to God, this is not a joke. This shadow work, combined with the tools and the techniques that I give you for your daily and moment-to-moment practices, I promise you, if you are coachable and you show up and get on the phone with me for this program, and you do the work with me, and you just be open, and you try it, I promise you, in 12 months, your life, you will not even recognize it. From doing the shadow work and using these tools and techniques, night and day, my life, the last 12 months. The 12 months ago, I was broke. I didn't have a business. I didn't have any clients. I didn't have a home. I was borrowing money for groceries, guys. My life is completely different now. All right, so you got on this call today because you want to connect to your higher power. You know you have a purpose and you want to live that purpose and make really good money doing it, okay? You know you can't do this on your own. If you could have figured it out on your own, you wouldn't be on this call right now, okay? And number 3 is you already know in your heart of hearts if you want to get on the phone and talk with me. If you are outside of the USA, okay, and you would prefer to Skype with me, when you click the link, I would like you to just in the comment box, when you click the link and you pick a time and you pick a date to talk to me, I would like you to just write in the comment box Skype, and then put your Skype username in it. Okay, so if you prefer to not talk to me on the phone and you want to Skype with me instead, just click the link. It does say a phone call, but in the little comment box, you put your Skype username, write the word Skype, and then I'll know to meet you on Skype. So I'm looking back over your comments now. Yeah, Jack, my advice to you, you spent your whole life working in a corporate, that's a mindset issue. You know, you're saying that you can't go to where you have a desire to work within yourself, work for yourself, and you're saying you can't because of past experiences. And I'm telling you that if you really want it, get on the phone with me, and I will help you work through. That's just mindset. That's just an excuse. You know, and I'm not trying to be, you know, hard on you here. We all have excuses for why we can't do what we really want to do. And I'm just telling you it's all BS. And, you know, talking with me one-on-one, I can help you break through that. And I can show you how silly that is for you to continue, not for you to think that way now, okay? But now that you've heard me say, and you know in your heart of hearts if what I'm saying is true, that it's complete BS and it's just an excuse and you don't have to subscribe to that programming anymore. It would be silly for you to continue to think that way or to not do anything about it. Take the first step, get on the phone with me, and let's find out if working with me one-on-one is a good next move for you. And if it's not, I'll still give you some personalized tools and techniques that you can use to work through that on your own. Jack, if that makes sense and that satisfies you, just comment. Okay. Is there an option for OS people? Rose, I'm not sure what that means. If you're in Australia, you can still book a time to speak with me. So definitely click the link and just book a time. It'll automatically convert for your time zone. Okay. So we're actually under time today, but I don't feel guided to share anything more than I've shared with you so far. So if you guys have, thanks Sabrina. If you guys have any other questions, let me know now. Otherwise, I'm gonna let you guys go a little bit early and I'm gonna give you an opportunity to listen to this webinar again in case there's anything that you missed and you want to hear back from. All right, so that's it. I've waited around and I think I've answered all of your questions. You guys know the deal. So if you're ready to take the next step and you're really serious about making over your mind so that you can have the job and the life of your dreams, I encourage you one more time to click the link and let me know and get on the phone with me so we can talk about the next steps for you. I love you guys. Thank you so much for showing up tonight. God bless you, and I'll see you soon. Bye.